Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this lecture, we will discuss different gonadal hormones. Different gonadal hormones can be classified into different groups. In estrogens, we have diethylstilbestrol, estradiol, estriol, and estrione. And in selective estrogen modulators, we have clomiphene, raloxifene, tamoxifen, and trimipene. While in progesterone, we have desogestrel and levonorgestrel, medroxyprogesterone. In anti-progesterone, we have only mifepristone, while in androgens, danazol, nandrolone, oxandrolone, testosterone cypionate, testosterone enanthate. And in anti-androgens, we have finasteride and flutamide. Estrogenic activity is shared by a large number of chemical substances. In addition to the variety of steroidal estrogens derived from animal sources, numerous non-steroidal estrogens have been synthesized. And in naturally occurring estrogens, we have estradiol, estrone, and estriol. While synthetic estrogens are ethyl estradiol, mestranol, and dienestrol. Plasma estrogens in the blood and interstitial fluid are bound to sex hormone binding globulin, from which they dissociate to enter the cell and bind to their receptor. Two genes code for two estrogen receptor isoforms, that is alpha and beta, which are members of the superfamily of steroid, sterol, retinoic acid receptors. The estrogen receptors are found predominantly in the nucleus bound to heat shock protein that will stabilize them. And binding of the hormones to its receptor will alter the conformation and releases it from the stabilizing protein. And this receptor hormone complex, which bind to a specific sequence of nucleotides called estrogen response elements in the promoters of various genes, and then it will regulate their transcription. These are salient pharmacokinetic features of estrogens. As far as absorption is concerned, well absorbed orally as well as transdermally. Natural estrogens are inactivated due to rapid metabolism in liver when given orally. Natural estrogens are largely plasma protein bound. They mostly bound to sex hormone binding globulin and also to albumin. They are converted to estrone and vice versa in liver. Estrone is converted to estriol, and then they undergo phase 1 reactions to conjugate with glucuronic acid, and then in phase 2 reactions they combine with sulfates. Due to deconjugation in intestines, considerable enterohepatic circulation is expected. Mainly they are excreted in urine and may be excreted in bile. Estrogens are required for the normal sexual maturation and growth of the females. So they stimulate the development of vagina, uterus, and uterine tubes, as well as the secondary sexual characteristics. And they also stimulate stromal development and ductal growth in the breast, and are responsible for the accelerated growth phase and closing of the epiphysis of the long bones that occur at puberty. They also contribute to the growth of axillary and pubic hair and alter the distribution of body fat to produce typical female body contours. And larger quantities also stimulate development of pigmentation in the skin, most prominent in the regions of nipples and areola and in the genital regions. They have also effect on blood. They increase thyroxine binding globulin and sex hormone binding globulins, and they will increase the level of clotting factors 2nd, 7th, 9th and 10th, and also decrease antithrombin 3, and while they will increase the level of plasminogen. Estrogens will decrease platelet adhesiveness and increase HDL level and decrease LDL and cholesterol level and triglyceride level. So they have a beneficial role in plasma lipid profile, and they also antagonize parathyroid hormone and bone resorption. They will stimulate the synthesis of enzymes and growth factors and also play a role in metabolic alteration in liver. So in addition to stimulating the synthesis of enzymes and growth factors leading to uterine and breast growth and differentiation, estrogens alter the production and activity of many other proteins in the body. And metabolic alterations in the liver are especially important so that there is a higher circulating levels of proteins. Estrogens are used in primary hypogonadism and as a postmenopausal hormonal therapy. Treatment of postmenopausal symptoms like sleep disturbance, postmenopausal atrophy of organs, and for suppression of postpartum lactation, and also used in hirsutism and amenorrhea due to excessive secretion of androgens by the ovary. And as I have already told you, it is used as replacement therapy for stimulation of secondary sexual characteristics in case of primary hypogonadism. In combination with the progesterone, estrogens are also used as contraceptives. And to reduce osteoporosis in postmenopausal women, estrogens along with calcium and vitamin D are prescribed to avoid hip joint fractures. If no hysterectomy is done, a progesterone is always added to decrease the risk of endometrial carcinoma, and also used to reduce coronary artery disease risk and memory loss and in case of Alzheimer's disease. In postmenopausal women for hormonal replacement therapy, it should be instituted within 2 to 3 years of menopause. And for hysterectomy patients, estrogen alone is given, and for non-hysterectomy patient, progesterone is also added because combination will reduce the risk of endometrial carcinoma. Adverse effects of estrogens include nausea, vomiting, and postmenopausal bleeding, breast tenderness, hyperpigmentation, edema due to salt and water retention, hypertension, migraine headache, and there will be increased risk of endometrial carcinoma. Adenocarcinoma of vagina in young women whose mothers were treated with large doses of diethylstilbestrol in early pregnancy is also documented. These are the side effects which one can experience who is taking estrogens. There are chances of breast cancer, thromboembolism, myocardial infarction, peripheral edema, headache, hypertension, and nausea, vomiting. In combination with the progesterone, estrogens are also used as contraceptives. And to reduce osteoporosis in postmenopausal women, estrogens along with calcium. Now we will discuss serum estrogen receptor modulators. Serum estrogen receptor modulators are the drugs with tissue selective actions, means they will act as agonists on some tissues while antagonistic effect on other tissues, means estrogenic actions in some tissues and anti-estrogenic actions in other tissues. Why we use serum estrogen receptor modulators? To produce beneficial estrogenic effect in bone and liver, and to prevent harmful estrogenic effect, that is we need anti-estrogenic effect on breast tissues. And in serum estrogen receptor modulators we have clomiphene, tamoxifen, raloxifene, toramifene, ormilofoxin, and fulvestrant. Clomiphene is partial estrogenic agonist. By interfering negative feedback mechanism of estrogens on the hypothalamus and pituitary, it will increase the secretion of gonadotropins, releasing hormone and gonadotropins. So it will lead to a stimulation of ovulation, and so it is used to treat infertility due to an anovulatory cycles, but is not effective in pituitary or ovarian failure. Side effects of clomiphene are ovarian enlargement due to hyperstimulation of ovaries, and multiple pregnancies are also expected, and it can lead to vasomotor flushes and even visual disturbances. Tamoxifen, a competitive partial agonist inhibitor of estradiol at the estrogen receptor, was the first selective estrogen receptor modulator to be introduced, and it is extensively used in the palliative treatment of breast cancer in postmenopausal women, and it is also approved for chemo prevention of breast cancer in high risk women. It is a non-steroidal agent that is given orally, and peak plasma levels are reached in a few hours. Sorry. And tamoxifen has an initial half-life of 7 to 14 hours in the circulation and is predominantly excreted by the liver. It is used in doses of 10 to 20 milligram twice daily. Hot flushes, nausea, vomiting can occur in 25% of patients. These are the side effects of tamoxifen: hot flushes, nausea, vomiting, menstrual irregularity, vaginal bleeding, and even it can lead to endometrial hyperplasia. Raloxifene is another partial estrogen agonist antagonist at some but not all target tissue. It has similar effects on lipids and bones but appears not to stimulate the endometrium or breast. Although subject to a high first pass effect, raloxifene has a very large volume of distribution and a long half-life which is more than 24 hours. So it can be taken once a day. Raloxifene has been approved in United States for the prevention of postmenopausal osteoporosis and prophylaxis of breast cancer in women with risk factors. Side effects of raloxifene are deep venous thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, and retinal vein thrombosis. We will discuss other gonadal hormones in next lectures, inshallah.